You're looking to get your real estate license. So I've been in real estate for a long time. I have a big team down here right below me. And so I was asking them, hey, what were some things that when you jumped into real estate, what did you not expect, right? And so I got 5 things of what to expect when you jump into real estate, the truth of what real estate actually is. And so, number 1, freedom. Typically, when you jump into real estate, you do it for time and you do it for money, right? You want your freedom and you want to make money. And that freedom is very easily manipulated, and you don't understand what it actually takes to be a successful real estate agent, right? It's going to take you time, it's going to take you effort, and typically you're going to be working much more as a realtor than you are some traditional job. Like, it's not a 40-hour-a-week gig, especially your first 24 months. You need to be putting 50, 60, 70 hours into your business. You need to be working every weekend, especially weekends, right? All your clients, they're off work on the weekends, and so they're going to be counting on you to show them properties on the weekends. And so that freedom necessarily isn't true. Yes, the money aspect is, but there's an extreme lack of freedom when you first jump into it. And if you choose to ignore that and you choose to give yourself that freedom, then you might have a much slower launch into your career, because you really need to put in the effort. You are running a small business. You need to treat it like a business. You need to put the hours into it like you would a normal business. And so that's one common misconception about when you get into real estate. You're going to have a ton of freedom. You can't sleep in, you can't stay out late, you got to really put in the effort. The second one is the amount of prospecting it takes. Right? And so it's easy when you watch HGTV or you're watching Netflix and you're watching all these real estate shows. They don't actually show you what it takes to go find a client, to find someone to trust you with the biggest transaction of their entire life. All they show you is, yes, they're walking beautiful homes, they're watching you interact with the clients, and they don't actually show the prospecting. This is the cold calling, the knocking, the social media, the open houses, all these activities that you have to do on a regular basis, every single day for hours. You need to talk to 100 people to maybe have one good conversation about real estate, right? And so the prospecting, the amount of hours that goes into the prospecting, is something that's super deceiving. You need to make sure you are protecting your prospecting time at least 3 hours a day, right? And so what happens is you abandon your prospecting time and you don't have your database, you don't have a pipeline of people that will close in the future. And so you need to make sure you're protecting that time at all costs, which is whatever time block you choose it to be, right? We choose 9 to 12 a.m. every single morning. We are prospecting. That is our prospecting time. And we're on the phone, we're knocking, we're driving for dollars, we're open housing, we're going to events, we're doing all sorts of different things to have conversations with people to make sure we're continuing to add people to our database. This is a sales job, and that's what it is, and it takes a lot of effort and a lot of skill and a lot of training to have conversations with people, again, so they trust you to make the biggest purchase of their entire life, or trust you to sell the biggest asset that they own. Number 3, which is one of my favorites, don't assume your friends are going to use you. And so we see it all the time. Someone gets the real estate license and they make one announcement on Facebook, hey, just got my real estate license, if you're looking to make a move, please let me know. And they think that's all it takes for them to capture their sphere, their friends and family, to trust them to make a move. It's super, super important that you're working your sphere on a daily basis. You're hitting them at least every 90 days, at least every 90 days. That means you're calling them, you're texting them, you're getting coffee dates, you're getting drinks, you're doing something to stay in front of your friends and family, because the average person knows 7 realtors, 7. And so what are you going to do to separate yourself from the other 6 to make sure your friends and your families trust you, rather than just waiting for them to make a choice? And now it's a crapshoot. Now we don't know who they're going to choose. And so you need to make sure you're doing everything in your power to build relationships with everybody in your life. Don't assume your friends are going to use you, because I promise you, one day someone is not going to use you, and it's going to sting, it's going to hurt, and you're gonna ask yourself, why didn't that happen? And it might hinder your relationship with that person. We see it all the time. There's a saying, real estate ruins relationships, and that's true. And so you need to make sure you're doing everything in your power to keep those relationships and build those relationships, and don't assume, never assume anybody is going to use you. You have to put yourself in the best position that you possibly can to make sure your friends and your family trust you to work a transaction, to find the house that they want, to sell the house that they want, to give them the best terms possible. And it takes work to get there. Never assume your friends are going to use you, I promise. Number 4 is, don't assume that people are going to call the office to help them transact, to help them purchase a house, to help them sell their house. That is not how you generate leads, and that's something you certainly don't want to depend on when you are lead generating. That is very rare. It's never happened in my career. I've known very few people who've actually had a transaction happen because someone called into the office. How you go acquire clients is the effort that you put into it, the amount of calls you make, the amount of DMs you send on social media, the amount of open houses you do, all the things that we've talked about in prospecting. Don't assume you're going to get numbers from the office. And so there's an argument there where, is there power in the brokerage that you choose? That is a debate, but you're not going to get leads from the office that you choose. I promise you that. So don't depend on that. That shouldn't be a pillar in your business at all. Number 5, which is also an incredible one, is real estate school teaches you absolutely nothing about doing real estate. Absolutely nothing about doing real estate. What real estate school teaches you to do is pass the real estate test. Your school test and your state test has nothing to do with actually acquiring clients, working in escrow, and closing, right? It has nothing to do with that. It teaches you everything you need to know about passing the test. So once you do pass, you can throw everything you know out the window and find a team, find a mentor, find someone you can attach yourself to so you can actually learn how to do the business. It's just like school, right? You go through Algebra 2. How often do you use Algebra 2 in your business right now? You don't, right? But you need to take it to make sure you have the credits, or to make sure you could pass a test, or to make sure you got SAT scores, whatever it was. And the same thing applies to real estate school. It doesn't teach you how to actually run a business, how to find clients, how to write a contract, how to write addendums, contract language. It doesn't teach you any of that stuff. It could be boring, but make sure after you go to school, you're doing everything in your power to get with people who can show you and teach you and mentor you to actually do real estate at a high level, and go find clients at a high level, and go nurture clients at a high level, and follow up with clients at a high level. That's what's going to make you a successful realtor. It's not going to be passing your school test on the first try, passing your state test on the first try. That's not what's going to make you a great realtor, I promise. It's going, who are you going to attach yourself to? What bigger boat are you going to attach yourself to so you can actually learn how to do real estate at a high level?